Do you know how this war will end, Lieutenant? The portrait will be unhung, and the man will be hung.
From the way you described him, I've never laid eyes on the man or he on me.
Today we present two films with relatively simple historical fiction plot lines. Toten der Führer, 2008's Valkyrie versus 1941's Manhunt. Our first category of comparison is leading actors. In Manhunt, directed by the legendary Fritz Lang, we have Walter Pidgeon. And in my mind, he's the classic equivalent of Ryan Gosling. Both being Canadian actors who are famous enough to bring you to the theater based off name alone, and even get an Oscar nomination or two. But not good enough to be considered one of the best of your generation. Basically, upper B-level actors. In Manhunt, Walter Pidgeon is out hunting one day when he stumbles across an entirely different target in his crosshairs, Adolf Hitler. And he has a choice on his hands. Does he kill him and end the war, or leave that to soldiers and live with a clear conscience? My only strike against him is that for the better part of the film, something seems a little bit off about his acting. Perhaps it's just the fact that he's no Marlon Brando or Jimmy Stewart or Cary Grant, any of which I would have actually liked to see starring in this film. But it all turned out well. I love this film, and Walter did a praiseworthy job in it, which is more than I can say for Tom Cruise in Valkyrie. As hard as it is to say this about any actor, he did nothing special. He didn't elevate the role or make the characters better around him. He looks just like the man he represents in the film, but his acting leaves much to be desired.
Chief of Staff for the Reserve Army.
Excuse me?
Congratulations.
I am busy with other things.
Unfortunately, your nocturnal activities don't count as service to the Reich.
I'll refuse a promotion.
You'll do no such thing. Tresca may have left you.
Call me nitpicky, but in this and other scenes he was just not convincing. The second comparison takes into account films as a whole. As I alluded to earlier, both are very enjoyable films. We have Tom Wilkinson and George Sanders giving great support in their respective roles. And in this respect, I'm going to give the slight advantage to Valkyrie, simply because I enjoyed their supporting cast more than I did Manhunt's. And yes, despite Constance Bennett's baby sister Joan in the female lead. The third, final, and deciding category will be uniqueness. Now we all know that Hitler committed suicide, so any plot involving him simply alters the path of history to get to that same point. It was a doomed operation to begin with, and they did not do anything special with the storytelling. Manhunt, on the other hand, was completely unique. Now we know the operation per se is doomed from the start as well, and he's not going to pull the trigger, but there's so much more to the film. It turns into the story of Walter being persecuted, and yes, even being made a scapegoat by old boy George. I can't say enough how great this film was, and the makeshift bow and arrow kill shot at the end was absolute genius. It's the ultimate cap on a film where we become so emotionally tied into this one character. So Manhunt wins the battle. But that's only my opinion. I want to hear from you. Who was your pick, and who do you think should be next? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. What happened to your other glasses? I lost them, and I think I look like Al Sharpton right now. I'll go order you a new pair then.